What's going on, guys? It's the next big thing with yet another Star versus the Forces of Evil theory video. And I know that I've been doing quite a bit of them lately, so I most likely will be discussing something different in the next one. And don't fret, because I believe it's something that almost everyone will love. Something I did not yet do with Gravity Falls, surprisingly, but, you know, I think it's time I do it. Alright, let me stop myself before I say too much. First off, let me apologize about last time's episode. I did a bunch of theories talking about the new upcoming episodes with Star vs. the Forces of Evil. However, I did not explicitly explain the exact dates of when the next episodes are upcoming. Big mistake. However, I did put a link in the description for anyone who needs to know the exact dates or wants to, and I just wanted to flat out say I am sorry. That will never happen again. Hopefully not. But anywho, we're gonna be talking about Star and Marco and who will become the corrupt one. So far, we have some decent evidence from both sides that either one of them have a huge chance of becoming corrupt in the future. And we are going to be talking about that with the next big thing right now. Alright, so let's start off from the beginning, and of course our first culprit is going to be Marco. He's been known to be slightly evil in a way ever since that monster arm got attached to him in season 1, and ever since then fans and theorists have been wondering, will it return? Well, I reckon maybe. I have no idea. But however, in the episode Storm the Castle, I'm pretty sure you heard of this one before, he is asked to put his hand in one of the holes of a monster, no, literally a monster, to grab a sandwich. Yes, a sandwich. I am not joking in any way possible. This is not sarcasm. But before Marco says no, there's a flashed image of the monster arm. This could mean that Marco's either still paranoid, the evil is still within him, or the monster arm is bound to return soon. But still not exactly too soon, because it still hasn't happened yet, and we're in season 2 now. But honestly, it's probably just his paranoia going nuts. He's known for being the safe guy at his school, so this assumption actually may be relevant. But it's still peculiar what the monster arm was saying before he was dying out completely. Maybe one day Marco will lose control. But in speaking of lose control, in the episode The Page Turner, he was actually exposed to dark magic in the Book of Spells. And of course, what else kind of dark magic could we be talking about but Eclipse's page? After stressing over whether or not Star will become corrupt after reading the dark pages, it's later revealed to Glossaryck by Star that instead Marco was the one compelled by it. But to be quite fair, there's something to realize. In the episode Lobster Claws, there's actually an evil villain called Lobster Claws. No, that's really his name. And within this episode, Star tries to help Lobster Claws regain Spect from Ludo, so that way Ludo can rehire Lobster Claws. And while Star pretends to play dead, Lobster Claws grabs the wand and something weird happens. All of a sudden, the wand begins to form the shape of Lobster Claws, who also in the process becomes corrupt. And before I go any further, let's not forget that in beginning of this episode, it's actually figured out that Lobster Claws has a good side of him. I mean, yeah, sure, he punched the crap out of Marco at the end of the episode.
What about wanting to be good?
But let's be real for a second here, he was actually pretty nice before Ludo came back. So why is it that he became corrupt? And why is it that Marco also as well became corrupt once he was exposed to Eclipse's chapter? One big thing to realize is that once you grab a hold of power, you may never know how a person may change. But maybe it's not too much on that, but it also could have something to do with experience. I mean, think about it. That's a lot of power and magic we're talking about that they have to control. So I guess we'll let Marco have this one for now. And so now that we've gotten over Marco, on to the next one, Star Butterfly. And after years of only signifying her as nothing more or less than an angel with her beast-looking headband, we wouldn't really expect any corruption coming from Star Butterfly. She's the last person we would expect to turn evil. However, after watching the last winter break finale for season 2, we actually might have to think again. But however, that's not the only thing in season 2 that had happened. Let's go back to an episode that we all overlooked a little bit. And of course, the title of this episode is Red Belt. In the beginning of the episode, there's a particular dream that Marco has. For some people, the entire scene just raised eyebrows and nothing more. But if you were to try and dissect the imagery within the dream and also dissect some of the music playing in the background, there's much to be said. And also, if you were to research the soundtrack for this music played in the background, there's something in the description that says, "There's a sting from puberty when the locker opens, and a music box version of the Blood Moon Waltz at the end." So here is the moment within the theme you can hear the Blood Moon Waltz. The music was used for one of two reasons. A, the music was to, in some way, symbolize the eerie and ominous imagery within the entire dream, or B, it was a way of giving us the clue that the dream did indeed have something to do with Star and Marco's relationship, having to do with the future. And let's not forget that within the same dream, Marco is asked by Mr. Candle, "What are your plans for the future, Mr. Diaz?" This episode came after the events of Mr. Candle Cares, so seeing him in the next part of the same episode asking what Marco's plans are was kind of peculiar. But what really matters is what we witnessed at the very beginning of the dream, where Marco is seen coming from out of a hole with a green lit candle. Then as Marco turns around, he notices Star, but as she sees him, something else begins to happen. Star gives out a loud screech and proceeds to run away into a brick hole that seems to be from the school since there are lockers included. So what we can theorize from all of this is that the green background glow could have been resembling the dark side of magic. Star is becoming more and more corrupt, and after befriending Marco for some time now, things will change, and she will eventually join the dark side. But in the meantime, while that's been cleared up, let's discuss about Star in recent episodes. She seemed to have acknowledged some sort of interest towards Eclipsa. Her emotions have been swaying all over the place, which eventually impacts her ability to properly perform magic. She's already been through quite a bit of heartache as a result of being told that she doesn't have a choice of whether or not she wants to be Queen of Muni. Marco will probably be spending more time with Jackie rather than Star, and her most important family possessions are lost as of right now. Yeah, that's more than enough reasoning to join Eclipse's side of the Ancestry Historics. But I do believe that her possessions will be back by the end of the 15th episode of this season. And even though that's all of the evidence I gathered up for Star's possible corruption, there's one last major thing for Marco. Remember when we were talking about how Marco was asked about his future right after he was saying that he doesn't know his combination? And then he was seen wearing a suit in his locker? Well, what if I told you that it symbolized that Marco doesn't know what he truly wants in his future, and the suit could have possibly been resembling what he wears for the school dance, but not quite. At the dance, he was wearing a gray suit with a blue tie, as opposed to the Red Belt episode's all black attire. So does it mean he's dressing all black for a marriage, possibly with Star, or is it a resemblance of his death, which I for one completely doubt. I'm going to go with him possibly marrying Star, just hopefully not while they're still in high school, or perhaps this is him dressing up for another school dance even further into the future. And same thing can be said with Star. She was not wearing that same exact clothing for the episode Bon Bon the Birthday Clown. Plus we see the same hearts from the episode Muberty from when Star was stuffing all of the boys inside of the school locker. In addition, at a certain point when Marco is staring at himself, he is clearly within the greenlit boundaries of the shot while his suit itself is in a purplish background. Why the animators and artists chose this particular theme? Well, predictions could be that at the time Marco is in danger of becoming evil, but he will have to choose which side to go on. Or it's the other way around and Star will have to choose. And as for the rest of the dream, when the background is red, that was the light illuminated from the blood moon. And notice that in the same exact sequence, Marco's friends seem to have already progressed in life. At least that's what seems to be depicted. Marco and Star are the only two still at ground level. So is this a vision showing that Star is holding Marco back or what? She did seem a bit anxious when calling Marco's name. Okay. It's been fun, but once again, only evidence and time will tell. I can't wait until February the 6th, I'll tell you that much. I really am curious to see how this entire thing unravels. Alright, hope you all enjoyed the video. Give me a like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. And type in the comment section below who you believe will become corrupted. TNBT out.